Hello everybody, this is Driver. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and I decided that got a little bit of time finally, and I wanted to show off the Car Mechanic Simulator 21. This is going to be the demo version. So I've already done one playthrough on it, and I played the demo for a little while, wasn't else to do, so I deleted it. Was going to wait for the full edition to come out, and they had an update, and I have yet to check it out since the update, and I decided, you know what, I need to do a video on this, because 2018, as y'all know, is one of my favorites. So, I am definitely going to be buying this one, once it's released, sometime this year, I think. Anyhow, just a quick side note, normally I edit out a lot of the, like going through warehouses, stores, things like that. I'm not going to be doing that today. Not sure exactly how long this video is going to be starting yet, but we will see. So let's okay, so I did have to edit a little bit out, but so here we are in the game, and this is basically where it starts you up at once it goes through the intro videos. I didn't put those up here just due to copyright crap. So hit enter. We're gonna go ahead and load her up. I like some of the new visuals they added. Can't see my mouse right now, but like first where it says loading, they got those pistons moving up and down. I think that's pretty cool. And I haven't cranked this up in a while, so yeah, we'll be starting up here. Okay, I just paused the video for a second there. I wanted to make sure I had the music off the game here. So we're gonna play the demo here, and we're gonna start a new one. It actually remembered my other one, so let's start a new one here. So we're gonna call this and just call it YouTube. Oops, spelling's not for me today. Basic tutorial. You know, well, let's go ahead and run through the basic tutorial so you guys can see that too. It's pretty well basic. It very limited. So far, when I played the last demo, there was a lot of things that I was not able to mess with as far as like tools, equipment, so on and so forth. Supposedly in the update they changed some of that, and I'll kind of just briefly talk on that as I come to those spots. So let's get loaded up. Okay, so here we are. I noticed that in the tutorial, this looks like the first time I played this, and that was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. When I first walked in here and I saw how everything was whited out, I thought there was a graphics or a texture issue. I immediately left the game, checked files, looked for errors, that sort of stuff, and just the demo here for you. Basically everything that's colored is what you're allowed to use right now. And before we go through the actual tutorial, I'll go over a couple of things that we will be using. Obviously our lift, they've changed this. Before you just clicked on the box here, anywhere on that box. Well, now you actually have to use the up button and you have to use the down button to move it up and down. I thought it was kind of a neat little trick. Couple little changes to the spring removal, the balance machine, and the tire removal tool. We'll see that here shortly. And I don't think there was any changes to the oil bin there. So what it wants us to do is we gotta take us an order, and we'll take that one. And I know the screen is blacked out, but there we go. Now we're back. So as in most tutorials, you're only limited to do so many things. It's going to tell us everything we got to do here. This tutorial I am familiar with. I have done this one once in the hood. That's there. So before we actually go into doing the full tutorial, I'm going to go over things as I see them that I've noticed. And first thing that I've noticed is they added washer fluid. You're able to fill this, and we'll just go through this now. And just like filling oil, you just hold the button down. Good thing is you can see it, so you'll know when you're going to overfill it. Obviously, you want to fill these full. So, that looks full to me. And just escape to close it. Alright, so we're gonna, uh-oh, I can't look around again. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show what I can show you from here. What am I stuck on? There we go. So you see you got the coolant reservoir. You can actually fill that. If you right click on the cap when you're in the engine compartment, you can actually remove the coolant. You will have to do that if you need to pull anything that's going to be related to the coolant system. Radiator, water pump is two that I know of. The brake reservoir back here connected to our master cylinder. You will also have to remove the fluid out of it before you pull that. I'm not sure about on the brakes yet, but I do know that I have pulled that and got a $50 fine, I think it was. They added power steering fluid. That's this one right here, I believe. Before you can remove that, you have to basically right click the cap and remove the fluid, then you can remove the product. And over there, that new little box is actually a fuse box, which I thought was pretty cool. You can remove the lid, take the fuses out, and then remove the whole fuse panel, and then put everything back together just like normal. That's some of the things I can think of right off the top of my head in this view here. So let's carry on with our tutorial. So, like I said, you got up and down button. You actually have to use the up button. I thought that was kind of slick. Let's see. Approach the oil drain. Okay. I'm going to drain the oil. Equipment. Most of your options like this, your time menus, are pretty well the same. There are some differences. You just kind of have to look over them. And just click the right thing. So now we can put that back up. Click the suspension. Try to get rid of the old oil filter here. Part mount. Good thing is in the tutorial they automatically get you your parts. Nicer for you. Now we got to lower our car back down. Well, that looks like we're just going to be refilling oil here. Okay, so while I actually have this view here real quick, I'm not able to mess with all the other components yet. As you can see, most everything is pretty well mostly the same. Like I said, this is your power steering fluid again, if you can see my dot. And fuse box over there. Alright, so we're just going to have to carry on with the tutorial. It's hard for me to even show you a lot of this stuff. Hoping that once we get out of this tutorial that we'll be able to mess with some of the tools. Maybe have some more tools to mess with this time. I don't know if y'all noticed that while I was filling that, the oil, you can actually see it running down the funnel versus out the edge of it and clipping through. So that's full. Okay. As you can see, pretty well operates all the same. Parts. So I just remembered that the balancing machine is a little bit different, and I just remembered that. Look at this right now. So this is actually kind of cool. So before it would just balance it for you and eventually it was done. What you got to do, you've got two options. You can use your mouse. Okay, no, it's just with the keyboard. So as you can see down here, rotate left, rotate right. You want to line that green up right there. It's supposed to balance that part, and then you just got to do it. It's typically 3 times. And it's balanced. Kind of a nice little touch. Has a little bit more realism. this tire back on. There's the cross pattern there. Normally, it doesn't bounce. You don't bounce out like that. You actually leave. So let's separate these bad boys up. Take those and rejoin them. Makes it kind of nice when it just automatically buys your parts for you. Sorry about the camera moving there. Take that off and mount this all back up. So far, one thing it has not simulated yet that it does do is sometimes you'll have a stuck bolt or lug nut or something like that, and you will have to spray WD-40 on it before you let it take off, which I thought was kind of a nice little thing. So, pie menu, car status, switch to order summary. Is this the order summary? There we go. So I don't know why they put CR when it's supposed to be order summary, but as you can see here, you can look at what the mechanic wanted you to do. Then you can also look at the additional task, which was finish fill that. It's odd that it didn't show changing the tire. Oh, here it is. Front spring, tire, and filter. I said that backwards. And this is kind of a neat little graph that you don't normally see this way. Remember, they used to have it in a little corner. Can't remember the bottom time. I don't remember what a corner was at. So anyhow, and then there we just finished the order. And that's our tutorial. We're done. So now we'll go ahead and load into a demo version of the game. We'll have a little bit of limited stuff we can do. First thing I want to do is I want to see what we got laying around in the shop. I believe if it didn't change, there was a car sitting outside that we could fix. Unfortunately, we were limited on the tools we could use, so I wasn't able to fully repair it correctly last time. And if I remember right, it was like a little Volvo 4-door something. So as soon as this loads us in, we'll be able to check that out. So, sorry about the throat clearing there. So pretty much, welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator. This is stuff you can do in the demo. We'll have these two missions that will introduce two cars, supposedly new cars. I believe we've had these kind of cars, but maybe in a different style, or I might have seen them in a mod. But we'll have the Salem GW500 and the Sakura Supra, which in my opinion is just a Toyota Supra. Can't remember what the Salem was, but we have our own Valzen 2040, and I believe that's just more or less a Volvo 2040. Some of these tools are going to be locked up. We're not going to be able to use. Available tools that we'll be able to use is going to be the repair table, and those have mini games in them, and we'll go over that. The wheel balancer and wheel changer, you saw the mini game in that for the balancing, and then the spring puller is going to be available still. So what's kind of cool is that it's more open concept. You have all this space out here. This is your outside area. Too bad I can't just hop in a wrecker and go for a ride, right? Not sure. I haven't actually walked around out here. I guess you can. You stand on the road and get hit. Oh, hello. So this apparently is a desert scene. So we must be in Nevada. So I'll have to get with Atomic and tell them to keep this dust down a little bit. You know, it's going to be hard for me to paint cars with all this dust. So let's take a walk around out here, and then we'll go inside the building and check everything out. So I got a little phone booth here. Can we talk to anybody? Most of y'all don't know what that is. It's old school stuff. Alright, so look at gas, this container. It's kind of cool they got this stuff here just to be kind of cool to use it. The scissor lift. I've always hated them in real life, but let's see. Alright, so here's our dyno. So let's see. Walk around. I'm going to see if I can click on anything. There's the start menu. We'll come back to that in a minute. Toolbox. Alright, so that's not going to be available in the demo. And I believe the toolbox is going to be kind of like in 18, where we were able to up level everything. And I know there's more to it this time around than before. Tuning. No, not available. Alright. Toolbox is obviously not going to be available. Sorry if I'm moving around a little fast. Just kind of checking it all out. Do we have to do anything with that pipe? Nope. There's doors going in and out. Let's see what the screen does. Not available in demo also. Well, it is what it is. But there's the dyno for you guys. So, kind of cool. Laid out a lot differently. Back outside here. Let's see where the heck we're at. Okay. Still want to kind of check this all out a little bit more. You'd think I own the place, people. Why is it authorized only? And I can't go up there. Let's see what the warehouse is. Alright, so we have, as you've seen on the sign, our own little private car wash. So they did a little change on the body damage. There is now dents and scratches, and apparently you can wash vehicles. And this is kind of your detailing area. Obviously, not available in demo, and if I'm remembering right, not available in demo. There's your vacuuming, more or less your interior crap. That's about it to this room, as far as I could tell. Quite a bit of junk laying around, but I guess that's kind of normal. Another hose back here. Hope you guys don't mind me doing this, just checking it all out. Let's see. I guess let's go up here first. Just lots of junk laying around. Yeah, we gotta clean up this up. Alright, so here's our paint booth. Way different than before. So let's see. Well, that's obviously where we're going to put the car. So they changed it a little bit here. Okay, that's part of the paint shop. Not available during demo, obviously. But I noticed that the air compressor's out here. Which, I actually don't mind a compressor being out here. Oh, you can't do nothing with it though. So in the other version, you had all the compressor and all this garbage was all in one room. And I kind of like how they divide this all up. It looks pretty cool. Can't do anything with these tables or anything. So that's the only way you paint your cars. And I notice there's another room over here. What we got in here? I'm going to take it that this is our test path. I haven't been in here. Yep, this is test path. Not available, obviously. Oh yeah, that's right. You can do wheel alignment now. It's not going to be available during the demo. But this looks like the laser style wheel alignment that I've actually seen used in other shops. So this is a test path and wheel alignment all in one. It's kind of cool. So yeah, let's see, headlamp alignment. That was another thing they added. Obviously not available during demo, but I'm going to click on them just to see, you know, so that way we can actually play with some of this stuff. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So let's see what's outside here. More junk laying around. I'm not really happy with all this junk, but I tend to try to keep a nicer looking shop when I can. So let's see, we haven't walked around this side yet. Obviously all the glowing stuff in there is all the new stuff. We'll go in there last. I want us to check the outside out. And it looks like it's actually about it out here. Okay, we got gas pumps. Let's see. Can we buy ice? Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. I can't even buy a nice Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. Man, it looks like they're selling Sam's Club in there anyways, which I actually don't mind. So this is our car we actually own. We can actually do anything we ought to with it. And I like the feature that they added with you can park it with no wheels. So just set it up on blocks with a little bit of our motors available. Yeah, to me that just looks like a Volvo. Alright, so I know you guys have been itching for this part. Let's go ahead and go on in. Alright, so again, I'm not too thrilled with the trash and everything. I try to keep a clean garage if possible, but it is what it is. Engine crane is not available during demo. We know how to use that, right? I think. So this is our basic shop. Looks like we got 2 bays with lifts. So the original garage parking used to be inside, and now it appears to be outside. I'm not sure how many slots we're going to have out there yet, but over time I guess we'll find out. We know that toolbox is not going to be available. Are those? Those are almost Mopar looking boxes right there. So yeah, different filters and stuff laying around up here. This workbench is pretty much useless. It looks like just all junk stuff laying around. So here's our oil drain. We know how to use that. We already used it earlier. Our computer. Alright, so I know we can use this bad boy. So they've changed up the way our car parts is. This is your basic standard car parts, and I don't think everything's listed in the demo because you would think there'd be a heck of a lot more there. But they broke it down pretty much the same. You know, here's your engine. I believe that's supposed to be all stuff. Suspension, brakes. Brakes, it's about close to normal. Now they moved some of the stuff around, which was kind of cool. So, like, gearbox is in the same place, exhaust is all in the same place. Most of your brake components are in the same place. But you'll notice that in the brakes we're missing the ABS stuff. So let's go back to home. They now have an electronics shop. Here's your ABS control module. There's your alternators, batteries, your ECM or ECU, how they call it. The fuse box stuff, ignition stuff. The fuses aren't. It's a letdown, but I like it at the same time. So the fuses aren't labeled like 10 amp, and that would probably be more like maybe a 20, 25. I'm not sure about purple, probably 40. And then the relays are just, they're all just type. But it still added a little bit more, so I like that. So that's your electronic shop. Bodyworks, one thing I like is that you're able to actually select the vehicle. Now, we don't have these 2 in the shop, but this one's sitting outside. But you can look at the parts for that vehicle. And I like how they broke that down. It made it a lot easier, because before I would hit the body shop and it showed every car that was available. And I would type up here, and I'd go here and I would type Salem, But these are the parts that are currently available right now. Now, obviously, there's more than 3 cars when they release this. I think they're supposed to have 72 cars. A whole lot of parts. Tires. It's only showing the 2 tires here. Like I said, I think a lot of these parts are going to be limited right now to what we can get. Because obviously we know there's more seats and wheels than that in the other version. License plates, one thing I did notice, all that you got the different states and countries. I think I had to download those as a mod or out of a workshop or something like that. I could be wrong on that, but I think I did. I've got quite a few mods on my other version. Gearbox Custom is locked right now. Same thing with community cars, so we know that that's going to be available for workshop. Add-ons obviously is locked out. Body tuning is locked out, and regular tuning is locked out. And that's our choices for wheels, which obviously goes with the cars that we have. That's pretty well our computer, and I'm hoping that will eventually be the tablet. Actually, right click. Tablet is available right off, or at least in the demo. So here's another detailing kit, same as the one that's out there in the car wash. There's our toolbox. We still have our welder. It's just not available during the demo. Let's see. We know how to use that. Basically, we're looking at a lot of the same tools that we were looking at earlier, so I'm just going to kind of click them to unhighlight them. Those just go back out. Yeah, earlier we only had the one lift, now we got two. Let's see. Oh, that just goes out back. Let's try this again. Where are we at? That door knows nothing. I don't think you can turn lights on and off. I don't think you can. No, doesn't appear to be. Alright, so here's our battery charger. So everything's going to be moved around. You got a whole brand new shop here. They've changed the workbench setups. We're going to have to go more into these later because we don't have anything to use. But this is just for parts. Don't have any parts to repair, but that's just for regular parts. And that's for regular parts. This is a body repair table. This is just for repairing body parts. And the same thing with this table. It's a body part repair table. This is also for body. So you get your tables are split up a little bit. This is another one for parts. This is a brake lathe here. So the cool thing with this, we're going to be able to what we do in the US, we turn the brakes. Usually it's rotors and drums, and we can also turn flywheels, and at least we used to. Turning brake rotors and stuff like that is not really that common anymore. Most people just turn and buy another one. I actually struggle with trying to find places that will turn products for me here. But anyways, that's not why we're here. So another toolbox in here. This is the shelf that you can't do nothing with. That's that table. Nothing to do with these shelves. And our engine stand. They moved it all the way in here, which I think is kind of interesting. And I think that's about all the new tools that we open this door. We got. This is our warehouse, boys and girls. So it's not available during demo. I'm curious of what this is going to look like when we're actually playing the non-demoed version. If that's actually going to be stacked up with a bunch of the parts you buy, or how that's going to work. Sorry, I have to take a drink real quick. So, and we'll leave the door open. Nothing behind this door. Oh, I didn't notice that. Got keys up here. Alright. So that's pretty much a tour of the shop, and I'm assuming this is the full blown out version. I don't know how it's going to start in the beginning. So let's go find our telephone. We walked right by it. Oh yeah, you also do have your radio here. It's on or off. I have the music sounds turned all the way off right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on a couple of orders. Nothing special. Just kind of give you an idea of what we got to do. So, alright. So this is our customer's car. You know, it ain't beat to crap. It's nice to know. Compared to this old jalopy over here. Look at that. Plenty of rust on that old girl. So, alright. What do we got to do? Because I didn't even read it. Car status. What do you want us to do? There we go. Alright, so this is our regular task that we got to do here. Brakes, coils, tie rods. And we got some additional tasks. Change the brake fluid, change the power steering fluid, and then refill the, they're calling it windscreen fluid. But washer fluid in the US for me. So let's what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one corner at a time to make it a little bit simpler. It might take a little bit longer, and I'm going to kind of go through this list as I go, just to make it a little bit simpler on me. So we'd like to move this car. Alright, so let's take a look at this real quick. We got the test path, 2 lifters. So we are going to have 3 garage entrances. We'll go to the car wash, I know. Alright, so that kind of gives y'all available, you know. I said that about the time I was reading this. Parking's not available, so we're going to go lifter A. And we come inside with the vehicle. How nice. Alright, so first work order is we gotta do brake disc. We're gonna need a set of pads all the way around, and we're gonna definitely need tie rods. And I'm assuming the hub bearings is probably the front ones. I'll highlight those two, and I'm gonna highlight the brake disc. back out. Let's go ahead and get this old girl up in the air. So the one thing that I thought was kind of neat that they changed, used to when you would highlight those parts like I did in the repair status, you would automatically see them right now. You don't see them until you actually click into your work area. And actually the tie rods aren't even highlighted. I'm not sure why. Maybe it won't highlight until I pull a tire. So let's grab the tire. Alright, so... Oh, I may not have highlighted the pads. Those. So I know I'm going to need pads. I know I'm going to need that. Oh, it wasn't tie rods. It was the... I already pulled the disc off. It's just that blue kind of messes me up a little bit. So you see how that just is orange there? Can't take it off. What you gotta do is hold down the right and you spray WD-40 on it. Bam. That was one of those new features I was telling you guys about. So, another thing I noticed is you can actually access your tablet pretty easy. The shopping list works a little bit better than it did before. So you still, to add to the shopping list, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Used to I did that, and that adds it, or you can use the space bar. So I'm going to add these to our list. Exit out. Let's go to our tablet. Here's what's cool. Here's your shopping list. So, the thing I don't like is I thought they said they fixed this, but they apparently didn't. So let's go into our main shop. Let's open up our shopping list. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to search these items. There you go. And we'll buy that one. Let's go back to our shopping list. We don't need a tie rod no more. Kind of like that. That's almost like cheating in a way. I just really like cheating. Before I always had to hunt and peck for my load, for what I needed. Alright, so we got all of our parts. Let's mount the stuff back up. We'll start with this hub bearing in here so I can get it. That's done. Mount this side up. Ooh. Fancy looking rotor there. Let's sort by name. So we need another one of those, another one of those. That and that. I probably should have just left my shopping list on earlier. Find the parts is a whole lot easier, guys, just by having that right there. You'll just click on those. setting option now to have the auto zoom, where it automatically zooms you in when you're having to tighten nuts or anything like that. I think they changed a lot of that. Alright, so we got that much done. So we're still needing to do a couple of brake pads. We'll do the coil up. We'll do all that other stuff when we're up top. So let's go ahead and get these other 2 brake pads done. And the only reason I'm doing this one wheel at a time, or one corner at a time, I don't know about it in this video. I don't want to have to fight with the stupid thing. But I've ran into problems where I ran into parts getting mixed matched from side to side. And I just didn't feel like dealing with that right now. We're going to go ahead and put 2 pair of brake pads, 2 brakes. I know I may be doing this a little bit slower than what some guys would probably do it, but everybody's got their own stuff. Alright, that side's done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go and get this lowered down. Things motor wise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew this. Yes, where's the cell hole? But cell parts, there we go. There we go. That clears that garbage out. So, let's see. What else do we need to do to this overall? It needs coils. So I need new spark plugs and a Serpentine Belt A. Serpentine Belt A, we're going to find that first. Oh, Jesus Christ. Too much stuff in here. That's Belt B. Oh boy. Now we're going to tear this motor apart. Hard to see in here. There's Belt A. Alright, let's take our inventory here. Add that to our list. We'll go ahead and buy that part and we'll go and get this thing back together. I'm missing my auto zoom hooks, ain't gonna lie. I'm thinking, go back. Okay, we'll mess with it later. We might look real quick in our settings and see if we can put that back on. Get that back together. Alright, that's together. Let's unhighlight this garbage. Alright, so we need to do coils and plugs. Hopefully this is just a 4-cylinder. If it is, I'll make it simple. Alright, so real quick. 4 settings. Exit, save, load. No, that's what I'm looking for. Photo mode, orders, inventory. Map. Let's go look at our map real quick. Oh, it's not available on demo. But it's kind of grayed out, but we can kind of see, got a garage, parking, test track, racetrack, car auctions, junkyard, car salon, barn, speed track, and workshop maps. So basically the same stuff. Well, I was hoping I could fix that real quick. So let's see here. Just gonna cut that out. Alright, so that's the parts we need. Let's go to our shopping list here. We don't need a Serpentine Belt no more. That's the other thing I like, is I can clear a lot of that stuff. Ignition coil. Ah, yes, that's right, folks. They're over here now. Ignition coil. So I'm still able to use my arrows on my keyboard for adjusting how many of those I want. Kind of like that. I wish that, concern I need 4 of them, that it would just give me the 4 I want. Alright, let's put this stuff back together. I like how it slowly fades it in. That, you know, your next part to fit on. They've made some nice little changes here. When it comes to repairing parts, I'm not too wild about it, and I'll have to show you that here in a bit. So, all that is done. Our additional tasks, though, so they want to change the brake fluid, power steering fluid, and refill the washer fluid. So, this is what I was talking about earlier. So, brake fluid was 1. Now that's how you add it. We don't want to add it, because if you remember right, change the brake fluid. So to change the brake fluid, let's get turned around a little bit here. Let me get zeroed in on this. Let's see. Alright, so you hover over it and then right click that, and then you will go to additional tools, and in your tools you have all your diagnostic tools. A lot of this is not available right at the moment. I'm not even sure what is available. We'll have to test those here. Use the drain tool. And then you drain it. Do it. There it goes. You gotta actually hover over here, not the cap. So now, what's kind of cool is that you have an empty deal there. So let's back out of that. Escape gets you out of that tool. Now, fill her up just like normal. Surprised they don't use a funnel on this version. And we don't want to overfill it. Get to that max line. Whoop. Yeah, it looks close enough. So same procedure over here. Reservoir. Drain tool. And you heard that. Now this can be a little trickier. Get out of that tool. So what you got to do is, and I cannot move around, unfortunately. I can turn just a little bit, but not much. So I can't move my mouse, but you see where it says maximum and minimum? You just watch that little line and just fill her up. Cool. That's done. And the last thing we need to do is the washer fluid, folks. So let's do that. Held the button too long. Alright, so let's take a look here. All that stuff is done, and all that stuff is done. So let's ship this customer out of here. Alright, so that basically showed you the kind of, your storyline stuff, and a lot of it's still the same and a couple little differences. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go out here. Let's let's go pick up our little jalopy. Bring that inside. Automatically it throws it on the lift for us. So it is what it is. So when it comes to repairing, so you see how this hood's all dented up now? I'm going to pop that hood off of here. And I'm going to grab us some regular parts. I don't want to tear this whole motor apart. I don't want to do a full rebuild. Let's grab this head. Let's take a water pump with us. Let's see. That's going to be done with the car. Yeah, I'm trying to keep from disassembling this whole thing too much. Alright. So let's take what parts we got. Oh yeah, I forgot. Here's our fuse box, guys. Gotta go buy a lid. But to work on this, to be able to pull this, you gotta pull every fuse out of here. Now there's only so many, only certain ones you can. All these little bitty ones, you're not able to take out. It's these bigger ones right here. Let's take those out. Let's go ahead and take the base with us as well, right? We're missing all kind of stuff on this little floppy, isn't it? Alright. So let's take this over into our repair shop. This is pretty much going to be the last thing we're going to do, I think, today. We're going to start with just regular repairs. So the fuse box, this is just the box itself, not the fuses. So for repairing them, you hit space to start repair, and you get this little game here you got to play. You want to stop that in the green for the repair. Alright? And just to show you what happens, if you get red, you fail and you decrease. That's how your chances are now. So success there. That was stupid easy to do that one. And one more. So it can be a little bit more challenging, but all I'm using is the space bar. Oop, I fell that one, didn't I? There we go. If you hit those gray areas, let me see if I can do one. There we go. Just says try again. So if there's anybody that was like me, when you would repair stuff, you would just sit there and just spam the enter key. And those days are over. Now you actually got to do it. Alright, so we are done with that table. So, when it comes to body work, I don't have the necessary parts. Okay, let's try this table. I still don't. How do I not have the necessary parts? Didn't we bring a hood with us? Inventory. What do we got? Yeah, I got a hood. Oh, that's because it's 1%. I didn't realize that when we pulled the hood. Let's go back and grab another body part. What else do we got on this thing? Got fenders. That door's 30%. Whoa, probably some glitch in there. That door was 1%. Wow, these parts are really toast. Trunk's 1%. As y'all remember, 15% was as low as you could go to be able to repair it, that is. Interior is still not repairable. Interior. So they changed the way the interior is. We'll go ahead and pull a couple of pieces out of here. That was a weird steering wheel. Whoop, that ain't what I wanted. Back to normal. Alright, so obviously you know we can't do windows. We'll go ahead and grab a headlight just for giggles. Be nice if they actually let us actually kind of repair those. So we'll stop here. Nothing. Alright. Here we go. So here's for the mirror. It's basically the same game. And I'm gonna end up with no mirror if I keep that up. Yep. So then I got that bumper. Alright, so I don't know if each table works a little differently. So this is also body repair. It seems to be the same. So I don't know if there's going to be something that you can do with these differently. Maybe I kind of was thinking maybe, you know, like the body repair table right here would be more for either small things because the clamp is available, more flat items, whereas like say this one is more for curved. I mean that's a rolling tool there, and this here, that's almost like a cross between a lathe and I'm not really sure what that is. I'm not very good with body repair in the real world, so I'm not sure on this tool. But yeah. So that's kind of the basic gist of it, guys. And unfortunately, we got so many things locked that we can't do nothing with. But it gives you a basic gist of what's going on. Now, in the demo mode, if you want to download it, it is free right now. I'm sure it's going to be free until they release the game, and I'm not sure after that. Most demos are always free. You'll get this car laying out in your front yard, as you saw. And you will get 2 missions. So we have another mission available. I'll go ahead and show you that real quick. And as this Sakura Supra, which to me just looks like a Toyota Supra. Let's load that in real fast. And that old girl is dirty. And it stinks because I actually want to wash this car bad. I mean, it's weird. The whole car is so filthy it's unreal, but look how clean that engine is. Other than the few rusted parts there. Now this repair goes in a little bit more in depth on things that needs to be repaired. If you look at the list here, you got all these parts it wants you to change, almost 3 pages worth. Plus they want new oil and this additional stuff here. So, and let's see, move car to car wash. Now we can take it and put it in the car wash, but where's the? Still can't use the dirt thing, and I want to wash that thing so bad because it's just so filthy. But anyhow, guys, that's pretty much that on this. Like I said, this video was pretty much mostly not edited except to cut out a couple of things. I wanted y'all to kind of get a full aspect of how this runs. Most of you guys that know me, has watched me play Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I typically skip out going to the warehouse and buying the parts, and just because it can be a tedious, slow, and drawn-out process, especially the warehouse. I'm hoping that in this version of 2021 that they have improved a lot of this stuff. Some of the problems that I had in 2018 was the warehouse was extremely slow, and if you went in the warehouse and then left to work on a vehicle and then went back to the warehouse because you forgot a part, every time you did that the warehouse got slower and slower and slower, and it would get so slow to the point that it was easier to save your progress, exit the game, restart the game just to get the warehouse to move again. And I don't know what the deal was with that. I'm hoping they improved it. So far I'm liking how the body designs are going as far as like the dents and scratches and all that stuff. The body damage is a little bit more realistic. How they've added a lot more realistic stuff to it. You know, adding windshield washer fluid. You got coolant now. Doing the brake stuff. Just stuff like that. I find it pretty interesting. So I'm hoping for this to be a really good game. And once this comes out and I get it purchased, I will be doing quite a few videos probably on this. Keep in mind that my work schedule has been pretty hectic. For those that don't know, I drive for a living, and work has been extremely busy, and I'm going to eat it up while I can because eventually we're going to slow down, and when we do, I'll have more time to do things like this. So, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this as much as I have. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I also do stream over on Twitch. I'll put that link down in the description. Obviously, I haven't been streaming here lately, but hope to get back to that as well. So, with all that entailed, guys, I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.